Workplace harassment and discrimination are issues that affect millions of people around the world, regardless of industry, age, or background. While work is meant to be a place where people contribute their skills, grow their careers, and feel valued, the reality is that many individuals face unfair treatment and negative behaviors that make professional life stressful and damaging. Understanding workplace harassment and discrimination is an important step toward creating safer, more inclusive environments where everyone can thrive. Workplace harassment is any unwelcome behavior that creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. It can come in many forms, including verbal, physical, emotional, or even digital harassment. Discrimination, on the other hand, occurs when someone is treated unfairly because of who they are, such as their gender, race, religion, disability, age, or sexual orientation. Both harassment and discrimination can overlap, and both have long-lasting consequences for individuals, organizations, and society as a whole. One of the most common types of workplace harassment is sexual harassment. This includes unwelcome advances, inappropriate comments, offensive jokes, or physical contact that makes someone uncomfortable. Sexual harassment not only undermines a person's dignity but also prevents them from feeling safe and respected at work. In many cases, victims of sexual harassment may hesitate to report it out of fear of retaliation, embarrassment, or losing their job. This silence allows the behavior to continue and affects not only the individual targeted but also the overall culture of the workplace. Another common form is verbal harassment, which can include bullying, insults, slurs, or constant criticism aimed at an individual. This type of harassment may seem less visible than physical harassment, but its impact can be just as damaging. Being constantly belittled or singled out by colleagues or managers leads to stress, anxiety, and reduced productivity. Over time, it can cause serious harm to a person's mental health and well-being. Workplace harassment can also occur in digital spaces. With the rise of remote work and online communication platforms, cyberbullying and online harassment have become significant issues. This includes sending offensive emails, sharing inappropriate content, or using work messaging systems to harass or intimidate others. The digital nature of this behavior makes it harder to escape, as victims may face harassment both during work hours and outside of them. Discrimination at work is often more structural, meaning it is built into how organizations operate. Gender discrimination, for example, occurs when women are denied equal opportunities, promotions, or pay compared to men. Racial discrimination is another major issue, where individuals from minority backgrounds may be overlooked for roles, paid less, or judged unfairly because of stereotypes. Age discrimination affects both younger workers, who may be seen as inexperienced, and older workers, who may be dismissed as outdated or resistant to change. Discrimination based on disability often arises when workplaces fail to provide necessary accommodations or assume that people with disabilities cannot perform at the same level as others. All forms of discrimination create unequal workplaces where talent and skills are not valued fairly. This not only harms individuals but also prevents organizations from reaching their full potential. When people are judged based on factors unrelated to their abilities, creativity and innovation are stifled. Inclusive workplaces, on the other hand, encourage diverse perspectives, leading to better decision-making and stronger overall performance. The effects of workplace harassment and discrimination can be severe and long-lasting. For individuals, the consequences often include stress, anxiety, depression, loss of confidence, and even physical health issues such as insomnia or high blood pressure. Victims may feel isolated and unsupported, leading to reduced motivation and a decline in job performance. In some cases, they may leave their jobs entirely, which can derail their careers and financial stability. Organizations also pay a heavy price when harassment and discrimination go unaddressed. Productivity drops when employees do not feel safe or respected, and turnover rates increase when victims choose to resign. Legal costs and reputational damage can also follow if companies are exposed for failing to prevent or respond to these issues. A toxic workplace culture discourages top talent from joining the organization and can reduce trust with clients, customers, and investors. In contrast, workplaces that prioritize respect, fairness, and inclusion build stronger reputations, attract diverse talent, and achieve long-term success. Preventing workplace harassment and discrimination requires commitment at every level. Leaders and managers must take responsibility for setting the tone by creating clear policies and enforcing them consistently. This includes implementing anti-harassment and anti-discrimination training programs that educate employees about appropriate behavior, how to identify misconduct, and how to report it. Regular workshops and discussions about diversity and inclusion help to raise awareness and change workplace culture over time. Employees also play an important role. Everyone has a responsibility to treat colleagues with respect and to speak up when they witness harassment or discrimination. Bystander intervention is a powerful tool, where colleagues can step in safely to support victims or report misconduct. Creating an environment where people feel safe to share their experiences without fear of retaliation is crucial. Confidential reporting systems, anonymous hotlines, and strong whistleblower protections are effective ways to encourage victims and witnesses to come forward. Legal protections exist in many countries to safeguard workers from harassment and discrimination, but they are not always sufficient or effectively enforced. Laws vary from one country to another, and some workers, particularly those in informal or low-paying sectors, may not be protected at all. It is important for employees to understand their rights and for organizations to stay updated on labor laws and compliance standards. Advocacy groups and unions can provide additional support and resources for those facing workplace mistreatment. One challenge in addressing workplace harassment and discrimination is the persistence of unconscious bias. Many people hold stereotypes or assumptions without realizing it, which influences hiring, promotions, and daily interactions. For example, a manager may unconsciously favor male candidates for leadership positions or assume younger employees are less reliable. Addressing these biases requires ongoing education and self-awareness. Employers can use tools such as blind recruitment, diverse interview panels, and performance-based evaluation systems to reduce the impact of bias in decision-making. The role of technology in preventing and addressing harassment is also growing. iTools can help organizations analyze pay equity, track promotion patterns, and detect biased language in job postings. Online reporting systems allow employees to raise concerns without fear of direct confrontation. However, technology is not a perfect solution, and it must be combined with a genuine commitment to cultural change. Without this, even the most advanced systems cannot eliminate underlying problems. For beginners trying to understand this issue, it is important to recognize that workplace harassment and discrimination are not isolated incidents. They are part of larger systems shaped by cultural norms, historical inequalities, and organizational practices. Change does not happen overnight, but awareness and consistent action make a difference. Small steps, such as offering flexible working arrangements, promoting salary transparency, or celebrating cultural diversity, can collectively create a healthier workplace. Creating a respectful work environment benefits everyone, not just those directly affected by harassment or discrimination. Employees who feel valued and supported are more engaged, more productive, and more likely to stay with their employers. Companies that embrace inclusion gain access to a wider talent pool and build stronger connections with global markets. On a societal level, reducing workplace harassment and discrimination helps close gaps in income, opportunity, and representation, contributing to a more just and equitable world. Individuals can also take personal steps to navigate workplace challenges. Learning to document incidents of harassment or discrimination is crucial, as written records provide evidence if formal complaints are necessary. Seeking support from trusted colleagues, mentors, or counselors can help victims manage stress and find solutions. Knowing where to access external support, such as legal aid organizations or advocacy groups, can also empower individuals to take action. Ultimately, the fight against workplace harassment and discrimination is about more than compliance with laws or avoiding lawsuits. It is about creating workplaces where people are treated with dignity and respect, regardless of who they are. Every person deserves to work in an environment free from fear, hostility, or unfair treatment. Employers who commit to this vision not only protect their employees but also build stronger, more sustainable businesses. The path forward requires persistence, education, and courage. By acknowledging the problem, challenging outdated attitudes, and promoting fairness, organizations can make meaningful progress. Every conversation about harassment and discrimination helps raise awareness, and every action to support equality brings us closer to workplaces where everyone feels safe and valued. If you are reading this, remember that change starts with awareness and grows through action. Whether you are an employee, a manager, or a business leader, you have the power to influence workplace culture. Speak up when you see unfair treatment, support colleagues who are struggling, and advocate for policies that create a level playing field. Together, we can end workplace harassment and discrimination and build environments where respect, fairness, and inclusion are the foundation of professional life. Take the first step today, because silence allows injustice to grow, but action leads to change.